every now and then you see people dumping their wastes in the gutter, dumping the refuse in the gutter, and then when they have done something and they believe that, okay, this is just waste. It's not something that should be left in a particular, in a particular place. Their failure to dispose it properly will one way or the other amount to environmental pollution. Sure. Now, from all these angles, you can now begin to think that, is it the case that we don't have a law in place that regulates all of this or that controls the way you dump your refuse and all of that?
That's to ask.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the legal framework. We have that legal framework in place.
We do?
We do have it in place, as a matter of fact. Yes. So I'm surprised, or let me say, I'm not really surprised when people go around and say that we don't really have a proper legal framework. Perhaps it depends on the quarter that is coming from.
You not go blame them now. If legal framework day, company go feel get mind to do what they do, and people go they suffer for the matter. I don't already mention Port Harcourt case.
Yes.
You don't also mention the issue of say sometimes some mechanic them they go down do some kind of work say then go do, then go pour the oil when come up for the matter inside the gutter.
Yes.
As well. So
yes.
if legal framework, if they know, say, get law when they prohibit what then they do, why you think they still do?
Yes, there are two reasons for that. One can say there are two reasons for that. The reason why we have continued pollution, in spite of having a legal framework in place that prohibits such pollution. Now, the first one is, if you look at the individuals, and then you look at corporate organizations, they don't have that attitude towards protecting the environment. They believe that it is something that the government should do and the government alone. They do not have that belief that when we talk of environmental pollution, we're talking about, in a way, environmental protection. And environmental protection is the responsibility of everybody.
Yes.
Now, that is the first reason why we continue to have that. The second reason is that we have a number of laws in place in Nigeria.
Okay.
And when I say in Nigeria, it cuts across all the three tiers of government: the local government, the state government, and the federal government. We don't only have those laws in place. We have those laws in place, and at the same time, we have regulatory authorities and bodies at the local government, state government, and federal government level in place. Now, these authorities, they don't enforce these laws effectively. So we can say lack of effective enforcement of these laws. It's what is causing what we have presently. And the more these authorities continue in their failure to effectively enforce these laws, then the more we are going to continue to have environmental pollution.
Okay.
Now, let me take it from here. Environmental pollution, and by extension, environmental protection, is actually a constitutional matter. When I say a constitutional matter, I mean something that is recognized under the Constitution.
Okay. Environmental
protection and environmental pollution, like I said earlier, they are interwoven. Because when you continue to pollute the environment, in a way, you are not protecting the environment. It will affect the protection that is given to the environment constitutionally. So the two of them are interwoven. Now, the Constitution puts an obligation on the state and federal government to protect the environment.
Yes.
The essence of that obligation is to make sure that we don't have environmental pollution, environmental degradation. So now, by extension, the local government is within the state. So that power is also given to the local government. And there's a portion of the Constitution, I don't want to go deep into the but there's a portion of the Constitution that grants the local government some areas of the environment that the local government is to protect and by extension control.
But you know, say you don't mention two things. You don't mention issue of enactment or enforcement as major issue. Now you'd already they break down people when they say now their responsibility, you know, to ensure say these laws they don't they enforce. And that's what I want to be say. You sure say they're not they enforce them because they don't even to understand waiting their role be. Yes, now one thing to understand. Now one thing, because if you don't understand, say you they pollute, you know, you get my point. Now nothing to also make person understand, say waiting you they do now crime. Then the people who say they come be the custodian themselves, then sabi book rich like that. Then sabi to know say even waiting then they do self also constitute to environmental pollution. How you see the matter?
Well, it's a combination of factors. The first one is we're talking about a problem that is coming from the people.
Yes.
When I say the people, I mean the combination of individuals and corporate organizations or corporate entities. Then we're also looking at a problem that is coming from the law enforcers. When I say the law enforcers, I mean the authorities in this regard. Now, with respect to the authorities, the presumption is that anybody you put in that position to be the enforcer of environmental laws, to avoid environmental pollution, the presumption of any reasonable person is that this person knows that law very well. And not only that law, this person knows how to enforce that law. And this person at the same time knows where the law is most violated, where to go to enforce this law. For example, if you look at, I'm not trying to discriminate against some areas, but if you look at some areas in Lagos State, I'm using Lagos State as a case study.
Yes.
You can easily say, oh, these are very clean areas. At the same time, if you go to some areas in Lagos State, you will see that these are very, very dirty areas. They are not only dirty, they constitute health hazard to the people living around that area. So now, when you have an enforcer or an authority that is meant to enforce those laws, those authorities, one will say that, a reasonable person will say that the person has more business in those areas where the laws are most violated than in those areas where the laws are less violated or are not even violated at all. So the expectation is that the person should go to those places to go and enforce the law. And then in some cases, when you have a particular community or a group of people that you believe don't really understand the nitty-gritty of those laws or the implication of violating those laws, the obligation of those authorities, for example, say La SEPA. La SEPA, the one that covers Lagos State, Loma and all of that, under the enabling laws, they have the power to sensitize the people. It is not everybody that understands the implication of what they are doing, environmental pollution.
That's true.
So it is their duty to go to those areas to sensitize them. So when you sensitize them through rally, campaign, and all of that, then after that, you can now let them understand that if you violate this law, there's a criminal implication. And this is the criminal implication. So sensitization, then after that, effective enforcement. So what we are lacking presently is the combination of sensitization and effective enforcement. The laws are always there.
You don't really summarize them as it be. You don't really nail them as it be. The laws are always there. You know, talk understanding and enforcement of the law. Now, there the matter be. So, what's I don't hear? We're going to text that check on yourself because you self when I like to carry nose up, say all these big companies, and they do you call. You call for your small household will be your own industry, your small workshop will be your own industry. How much of the pollution you self they contribute and how much you they try prevent. Thank you very much. Now Gabolaji Ramos and on they talk to, of course, Imbi, lawyer, poet, author, and environmental enthusiast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
As you join us on top of our show this morning.
Thank you so much. All right, I appreciate it.